Did another partner workout today. Pretty awesome day. Kind of like a little adventure day. Went on like a long walk. Went to the gun range, which was cool. I don't get to do that a lot. It's a terrible skill for me, but I don't know. I really appreciate all that goes into it. And any excuse to buy more gear and gadgets for anything is always fun. A lot of different types of bags involved with that sport and skill, and I always feel like you need another excuse to get a different bag. A lot of specific uses for them. Should always need more bags. But anyway, did another partner workout, and it was 4 time with a partner, complete 1,000. I almost said 100,000, but 1,000 double unders. So partner 1 starts in the double unders. Partner 2 is going to go to 5 gymnastic hip chest bar pull-ups, 7 calorie ski erg, 9 GHD sit-ups. When partner 2 finishes the 5-7-9, they rotate. It's a really fun workout. One of the things I like about this workout structure is, one, you can set it up in a lot of creative ways. Like, for example, we could have done 1,000 double unders for time, but we could have also done each partner. You're going to rotate after a partner finishes a single round of 5-7-9, but each partner must complete 10 rounds each of the 5-7-9. So what that means is you're probably going to finish the double under before you finish the 5-7-9, and you can finish the workout alternating those 5-7-9s, which is really fun. Or you can set it up so you have to finish it. You'll finish the 5-7-9 before the 1,000 double unders gets completed. Maybe you say, hey, each person only has to get 4 rounds of the 5-7-9, and then you can go alternate quick on the double unders. So I think it's a cool structure. Kind of test some of the best parts of team and partner workouts. And I think it's a good way to get a lot of different movements into a workout. And of course, the most important thing about working out, not have to warm up too much. So that's like one of my favorite parts of that structure there. Definitely like team workouts more in this season of my fitness life. Maybe something to talk about there, maybe not. But as that was going on afterwards, I was kind of watching the dogs play. And these 2 dogs are brothers, but I think different litters. But anyway, they were playing, and the older one jumped up on the younger one and got a little excited and tried to give the younger one a little hump. And he didn't like that. He kind of got a little aggressive and growly. I don't know, just kind of like held his ground. And then I think the older one got equally a little grumpy, and which I think kind of makes sense. And that kind of went on for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. But they're good dogs. It's like it de-escalated relatively quickly. But you could kind of tell in that 40-second time period after the inadvertent humping that they just seemed grouchy with each other. And it almost seemed as if neither of them knew why they were frustrated and mad, but they both were. And I think this is cool because, with dogs, what you see is what you get. They wear their emotions on their fur, like I said. And it's very different than with humans. And if you really pay attention to dogs, you can start to understand when and why and what they need. And they really can telegraph their mood and their wants and what they're feeling. But they don't have words to talk about it. And what I think was really, this got me thinking about was less about the humping and more about the lack of the talking, which is, in that situation, dogs don't really have to have words to de-escalate the situation. They just kind of have to wait until they both calm down, realize that there's no real threat, and they kind of go back to normal. And with humans, I think it reminded me, with human beings, I think the goal of us having the ability to have words to talk is to specifically de-escalate most situations. It is our action or urges or emotional responses, which sometimes can come across with words that escalate situations and agitate them. But we have the luxury of having words to de-escalate a situation, and watching the dogs with each other kind of have to wait until they realize they're no longer a threat to bring things back down to neutral, or that things weren't going to escalate to a threat to bring them back down to neutral, really made me think about the fact it'd be nice, and this is just rainbow unicorn land, right? It'd be nice if we could use words more often to de-escalate a situation than to kick it up a notch. And I feel like the exact opposite typically happens. Because we have mouths, we are like, oh, I should just open this and say just the absolutely most inflammatory, dumbest shit possible and make this situation worse. With this faculty that really is purposely built to do the opposite. I just thought that was interesting. I always learn a lot. I've learned a lot from like being interested in dogs and training dogs. It probably has taught me way more than it has ever taught them. I think I've shared this before. There's also things dogs teach you that might not be good. You know, I recently got a puppy. She's getting a little older now and learning super fast. She's amazing and attentive. But man, does she love goose poop. And it kind of makes you think, right? Like if she loves goose poop and she loves steak and I love steak, maybe there's something I'm missing with the goose poop. I don't know. So you can't trust everything dogs teach us. Some other little thoughts of the day. Content creators are cool. I don't know how they do it. This has been such a fun exercise for me because I don't love this kind of content creation. The Instagram workout content creation is definitely a skill I need to practice. Obviously, I love when people DM me and tell me how great I am. That's definitely one of the upsides of it. But the individual process of creating things like this, I much rather like physical things, but the process of creating things like this is so interesting to me. And I'm just like really blown away by super successful content creators in whatever niche they're in. You know, it's like, it's definitely we're also great at just totally disparaging people depending on what they're creating content in. But just the amount they put out is crazy. I think I've talked about that before, but every time I see it, it just kind of boggles my mind. Because they're doing like video and graphics and promos and teasers. And I'm just sitting here talking to a microphone at the end of the day. And I'm like, gosh, this is sometimes grating. But because of that, I think it's a good exercise for me. And the last thing I think I want to talk about, maybe this goes back to the dog thing. Dichotomous discussion. I mentioned earlier I was listening to this book, Coddling of American Mind. And in it, the author gets to a point because he's really talking about like certain ideologies and thought processes and how they've become more prevalent in our society, both at like the social level, political level, how this kind of stuff happens. And one of the things he talks about in the book is how when you have like dichotomous thinking, this idea of like, you're not with us, you're against us, how that's like a really dangerous perpetrator of, I don't know, a lot of tension between people. And again, it's like with us, with the faculty of words to de-escalate situations, with that type of thinking, it really sets us up to just ratchet the situation up and make it worse. And what I was thinking about, because we're like, in the book, he talks so much about how negative it is. I was just wondering, are there instances when it's like that's a good thing to have? And I think there are some. And there are probably moments of like real physical danger, real fear, real catastrophe from an action or expression. And maybe those are the moments where that kind of that thought process can be useful or beneficial to an individual or larger group. But I don't know, maybe that's also the thought process that got us down that road. But I wonder if it's less about the dichotomous thinking and more about human beings just being really bad at threat and assessment for the most part. Like really being able to identify a threat, and a threat both to us or others we care about. I don't know. That's something I think about a lot. Again, that goes back to the dogs. So who knows? What I got from this is hopefully try to use your words more wisely. Partner workouts are great. Just because dogs love steak and goose poop does not mean that humans should eat goose poop. That's all I got. See you guys tomorrow.